Has this problem ever happened to you? You're sitting in a Discord call with your friends and you can't find something to do for 4 hours until everybody decides to get offline. Either that or you're still stuck in a single game purgatory where all of your close-knit friends from your high school only want to play Smite and that's it. Like, it's been 4 years, man. Come on, pick a new game. But either way, you can't find a new game to play with your friends. So when you and your friends finally agree to play a new game together, the problem now rises in that there are so many different multiplayer games to choose from that the market now feels saturated. Nowadays, there seems to be so many games that appeal to certain niches of video game communities that it can be hard to agree on a game to play given that you have unique video game tastes compared to the rest of your friends. And that's where I want to come in to help. So today I've compiled a list of games that I would choose to play with my friends, my list of best multiplayer games to play in 2024. Before I get started on this list, I should state that these games that I chose are all games that I and many of my friends enjoy, and these games may not cater to your specific needs. And to that I will say to you what I tell myself every single time my friends tell me to hop on that godforsaken MOBA. Suck it up, champ, you're playing with your friends, that should come first. But anyways, here are some games that you can play with your friends to spice up your game catalog. The first game on my list is Valorant. Now I know that many of you are thinking the same thing right now, and my answer to that is I know that Valorant is one of the most popular video games in the world, and I can't possibly think I'm making some unique opinion by playing Valorant. But let me give you a little bit of where I'm coming from. My favorite multiplayer game ever, in case those of you that haven't seen any of my videos are watching this, is Counter-Strike. Valorant to me when I'm playing it feels like a cheap imitation of Counter-Strike in mechanics and competitive play, but it still bears a little resemblance to the game it was based off of, so I'm satisfied for the time that I'm playing it. But Valorant does have the advantage of using different characters with different abilities, therefore those of us who didn't grow up on an aim trainer like Counter-Strike, you can offset the mechanical imbalance that you may have in the game with an understanding of how your character works. It's with these mechanics that Valorant both separates itself from Counter-Strike and infuriates a player like me, because it hurts knowing that even if I will win a straight-up aim duel, the actual chances of that are few and far between. However, this provides a crutch that can prove very effective at getting your friends who are less fortunate with their aim prowess into the game. Specifically for myself, my friends who keep me stuck in Smite purgatory all of my life, all had a couple week phase near the release of Valorant where we played that instead. And I think that the character abilities played a crucial role in facilitating that transition, because God knows they just won't play Counter-Strike with me, like goddamn, man! In addition to the marketability of Valorant for those who don't play FPSs, I think that it has much more working for it than Counter-Strike. Hey guys, Editing Brady here, and I just want to say that I don't agree with any of this stuff about Valorant. When I was making this video, I re-downloaded Valorant, and as soon as I downloaded it, the Riot anti-cheat Vanguard just absolutely bricked my PC. Not only did the game say that it was taking up 3 terabytes of storage, but everything that I tried to do on my computer was instantly slower from the moment that I downloaded the game. And from what I'm hearing, the only way for me to fix that is to reset my OS completely. So thanks, Riot. I'm just gonna take this off the list and don't play this game. You know, this is a small channel, so I read all of the comments that you guys leave, and in one of my videos when I closed it out with my typical segment of hating on Riot, somebody commented and asked why I was so butthurt about Valorant, and I kind of forgot about this because this has happened to my computer before, but now it becomes blatantly obvious why I hate on games like Valorant, because Riot Vanguard absolutely destroys my PC. Every year or so, like I'm sure your group of friends has done, I get on a Minecraft server with my friends for about 2 weeks. I get on, build a house, get armor, kill the Ender Dragon, lose interest in the game, and then get off for a year just to start it up again. It's a quick dopamine blast that can keep you satiated for a little bit, but I think that there's a little building game with a little bit more progression that can help keep you there for longer. And that is the second game that I have on this list, Valheim. Just like Minecraft, every year or so my friends and I will have this urge to start a new Valheim world. Oh my god. Shit hurt, bro. That staggered me. We'll spawn into our world, build up our house and gather materials, and set out to fight monsters.
Right. Oh, I missed.
But instead of fighting general mobs like zombies, skeletons, creepers, and endermen, we're fighting against grey dwarves and dragons and trolls and cooler skeletons and zombie vikings with bows and axes and sea serpents and some other mobs that I probably forgot. And with these new mobs comes new progressions and new weapons that can prove to be useful in certain terrains and situations. The combat system of Valheim is also, while simple, more challenging and fun than Minecraft's system of click as fast as you can. To me, Valheim is a game that was inspired by Minecraft and bears some resemblance to it, but its value of replayability is much, much more. I think that another added benefit of Valheim is that it's a much more time-consuming game than Minecraft is. If I wanted to, I could load up Minecraft and set up for the endgame in like 2 hours. And in those same 2 hours in Valheim, I can set up and maybe start my way into looking for a shrine to summon the second out of 6 bosses. I think that Valheim offers more on the table in terms of progression and flow of the game. With Valheim, I don't think that there's a time that I can set aside for running around aimlessly like I do in Minecraft, because I feel like there's something that you can be doing at all times. In addition, oftentimes when I play Minecraft with my friends, not only am I doing things solo most of the time, it feels like the only time that all of my friends get together is to kill the Ender Dragon. In Valheim, when I play with my friends, we're often doing everything together, whether it be sailing, mining, fighting a boss, foraging, or something else. There's more of a group work component to everything that we do than there is in Minecraft. And the added fact that it costs $20 at most, goes on sale a ton, and doesn't need a super strong computer to run only exists to benefit its case. So if you're in the mood for an open world survival crafting game and looking for something more than your old standby ever since you were 10 years old, Valheim could be the game you're looking for. There's something missing from this list, and that is a game that you've probably never heard of. So for the third game on this list, I went for a game that I've played ever since it came out, and a game that you need your friends to play with you, because I will be very surprised if it has 10 concurrent players. And that game is Sky Noon. Sky Noon is a first-person shooter mixed with elements of Super Smash Bros., where you fly around the map with grappling hooks, picking up different kinds of guns that shoot air projectiles, and when you hit somebody with the projectiles, it would launch them backwards. The more you get hit by shots, the more you'll be launched backwards, and the way that you get kills in Sky Noon is by shooting your enemy out of the map's boundaries. You can also press E to use your lasso, which will bring enemies and items towards you, and you can chain that lasso together with different guns or abilities to launch your enemies into oblivion. Now, the painstakingly obvious problem with this game is that it's a dead game. Like, when looking back for this video, the most recent helpful review on Steam is from around 5 years ago. But who said dead games can't be fun? If a game dies, more often than not it's due to no new developer input, not the quality of the game as a whole. Sky Noon is $15 on the Steam store, but if you can snag it with your friends on sale, I'd say you definitely should, because this game is so fast-paced and fun that I wish it could be shared with more people. I've been going in an order of this video of match-based games followed by progression-based games, and for this next game, I'm choosing what is the highest critically reviewed out of all of the games I'm talking about today, and that game is Divinity Original Sin 2. I've always loved playing Dungeons & Dragons, however, every time I've been in a D&D game with my friends, we either never meet after a couple sessions, or one person loses interest and ruins the experience for everyone by always being on their phone or getting too high, and not being immersed in the world and whatnot. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a game that takes inspirations from Dungeons & Dragons, but keeps it interesting enough for every one of your up to 3 friends to play along. The journey is set up for you already, and it's up to you and your friends to figure out how you're gonna play it. You choose your class and customize your character and adventure through 4 huge open areas uncovering dungeons, enemies, and missions in your path that you can complete in whatever order you choose. Whatever situation you're thrown into, you can approach by solving it differently based on how you play with your character, which is a common theme in D&D style games. While many people prefer Larian Studios' newest title, Baldur's Gate 3, over Divinity 2, I actually think that if you're a newcomer to this type of game as I was going into it, Divinity 2 is a more well-rounded experience. Although there are no sex scenes in Divinity, which may come to the disappointment of those who know about Baldur's Gate. The first time I played Divinity all the way through, it took my group of 3 friends about 2 years to get all the way to the end of the game, and all the while I was going back and starting new campaigns with other friends where I was playing as different characters, which speaks to the replayability of the game. Plus, with how often the game goes on sale for $15 on Steam, it may be the most bang for your buck game on this entire list. There's clearly tons of care put into Divinity 2, with the mechanics, script writing, voice acting, and environment, and the game also happens to be masterfully scored as well. If you're stuck in a video game purgatory with your friends, Divinity 2 is a game that will be very hard to top. Now that brings us to the last game on this list, which is my personal favorite. In the year 2024, the game that I recommend you play with your friends more than any game is the 2015 game Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now I know what you're thinking, how dare I, right? How dare I suggest playing a Call of Duty game when you're bored of playing games with your friends? Even more so, a Call of Duty game that was released almost a decade ago? And I suggest it with Black Ops 6 right around the corner? But I am here in the year 2024 telling you that Black Ops 3 Zombies is the most complete mode out of any Call of Duty mode in any Call of Duty game, period. To give you a little bit of backstory, I actually couldn't understand why people liked playing COD Zombies as a child, but the only zombies that I grew up playing was Transit on Black Ops 2, which, if anybody knows Transit, is the worst map in the history of zombies. There's fog everywhere, the map is dark and it looks like shit, there's lava and denizens, the worst enemy to ever deal with everywhere on the map, and the bus is a terrible way to transport. The Pack-a-Punch just sometimes doesn't work. The wonder weapon that you build is the worst in the entire series, the Thrustodyne Aeronautics Model 23, or Jet Gun for short. And to top it all off, the Easter egg is boring and doesn't give a satisfying ending at all. So all of these reasons, in addition to my friends always wanting to play Transit instead of any other map, added up to me writing off zombies as a whole and brought a negative stigma to how I felt about zombies players in general, thinking that they all just liked things because it was Call of Duty. That was until I played Black Ops 3 near the end of last year with some of my friends, and my eyes were opened up to what zombies really was, which is an easy to understand, hard to master horde shooter that actually plays more like a roguelike than a general shooter. Specifically in Black Ops 3, the zombies maps, or at least the Easter eggs, which is what I like doing, play like roguelikes because the objective of the game is to finish all of the steps before the round progression gets too high and the game gets too hard, which can happen really fast if you're not prepared. This is where strategies such as training the last zombie or using the hacker can come in handy. In addition, what set BO3 apart from Child Brady playing Transit was that all the maps did not look like absolute dog shit and didn't play like it either. Take the starting map on BO3, Shadows of Evil, and compare it to Transit. Shadows is in a brightly lit up Chicago-style city that's pleasant to look at and flows very well, having a central area that sprawls into different districts, all with different things to discover. Transit starts you in a shitty rundown bus depot, and the first thing that runs through your mind is, why does this game look so bad if the multiplayer maps were bright and fun to play on? Instead of relying on that terrible bus to navigate through the map, you can complete different quests in different parts of Shadows of Evil to navigate quickly through the map. The Easter egg quests between Transit and Shadows are also quite different in that the Shadows Easter egg is something that I want to do because I want to do it, whereas the Transit Easter egg is just a chore so you can connect the other Easter eggs to other maps. But that's enough bagging on Black Ops 2, let's turn to what makes BO3 Zombies great. When you go past Shadows of Evil, you have The Giant, a reimagining of one of the best zombies maps ever to release. You have Drak, the greatest map to ever be made. Zetsubo, one of the most underrated maps ever. Gorod Krovi, which is such a unique map that, again, is one of the best maps ever, and Revelations, which admittedly is a little bit more fan service than the other 5, but a fantastic ending to the story maps nonetheless. All 6 of these maps rank among the best maps that Treyarch has ever put out, and I haven't even mentioned Zombies Chronicles yet. Zombies Chronicles is a map pack of 8 of the most iconic maps of the old Call of Duty Zombies games remastered into the Black Ops 3 engine. The addition of this DLC to Black Ops 3 Zombies makes the game the complete package when it comes to the Zombies experience. And that's just the bare bones explanation of the most amazing parts of BO3. The next part is PC only, but on the Steam Workshop, there are little to no more active communities than the Black Ops 3 Zombies community. On the Workshop, you can find fan-made remasters of pretty much every map in previous Zombies games that very talented teams have created to run on Black Ops 3. In addition, you can also find loads of mods and new original maps that keep the game feeling fresh for a seemingly endless amount of time. Some of my favorite custom maps are Water Park, a map that takes place in a water park, Leviathan, a map that takes place in an underwater facility, Shoot House, a zombies reimagining of the 2019 Modern Warfare map Shoot House, and the Mob of the Dead remaster. Really, I could talk on and on for a long time about how good Black Ops 3 Zombies still is in 2024, and really how much fun it's been has kind of inspired me to make this video in the first place. So if you're like me and you wrote off Zombies a while ago, or maybe just haven't even played it in a while, I strongly suggest that you give it another shot. And that wraps up my list for best games that you should play with your friends. Realistically, if I had to slim this list down even further to 1 or 2 picks, I would definitely go with Divinity and Black Ops 3, but every game on this list has a place in your catalog. Yes, even Valorant, just the places like 2 stories below everything else. But I would again caution you that I made this list about games and genres that I am very much looking for, which is why there is a little bit of an FPS bias here. You should really look at games that your specific friends would like. However, don't be afraid to push them a little bit. Going out of your comfort zone in a game may be a blessing in disguise, as you may find some gems that become mainstays in your rotation. Or at least give some variety to your catalog. Like, seriously guys, can we play a game that's not Smite, please?
Yo, it's because we have 11, 11, 11. Make a wish, bro.
I wish that
You can't make a wish. You don't have 11. I knew that's
Wait, slide.